In this video, we are going to be talking about what to expect out of NIO's earnings, as well as go over how much I think they can move, looking at the option chain and the technical analysis. Now, we are also going to go over a bullish article around NIO and what this one analyst expects NIO's delivery numbers to be at in this year and going ahead in the future, as well as their revenue and a couple other key points that I do want to bring to your guys' attention. And if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Tyler. I do welcome you here. For those of you guys that are a returning subscriber, I do love and appreciate every single one of you guys and love the support you show down below in the comment section. So keep that up. I do greatly appreciate it. And as always, if you are watching this video, make sure to make me one like button richer by smashing, tickling, touching, tapping, whatever you want to do, but make the like button turn blue. If you are on a computer, if you are on a mobile device, make it turn black for me. Now, to start off this video, let's take a look at what NIO stock did today. And along with more of the hype stocks, they were down in pre-market and then started to rip up at about 10:30, and NIO hit a high of up 1.50% and almost hit $42 per share, and then kind of sold off and then had this little wave motion and fell in after hours down about 0.50% at the lowest point in after hours, and then we did ultimately close trading up 2 pennies for the day. So right here we can see that earnings have a mixed consensus if they are going to be good or bad, and we can really see this reflected in the option chain as well. The volume, as far as on the call side, the one at the money is 7,700, the $42 call is 17,000, 5,000, 7,800, almost 10,000, 3,000, 1,400, 7,700. And then if we do come to the put side as well, we can see this is slightly elevated from where we have been at about 4,100 at the money, 1,300, 4,000, 1,300, and 4,200, and those are only the first couple of strikes. It basically looks the same, but the volume does start to taper off. Now, I do want to point out the short interest has come in for the day, or the short volume, I should say, at 14,525,000. And if we do come look at the volume, it was 57 million. So if we divide that, that comes out to about 25%, give or take a little bit, but roughly in that area. And if we do take a look at the past history, at least about the past 10-11 days of short volume ratio, we are sitting at a low of about 24%, 23.5%, to a high of 28.5%. So this is very elevated. And if we see a bullish positive earnings with good guidance going into the future, we could absolutely fly on NIO. And that is no exaggeration. If you mix this short volume ratio with the number of calls that we have, there could be a bit of a gamma squeeze here. Now, I do think we are going to go around $50 on earnings. I do think it will be good. I think we'll move at about 15 to 20%. So that would put us at about $50 per share. So that is what I personally expect. I'm not bagging on it by any means. I don't have any short-term options. All I have is the 2023 $100 calls. I got $3,100 in value. Still, I'm down $1,800, and that's mostly because of this one. I got absolutely clapped. I bought this for $850 before we started to sell off last time, and it's only worth $124 right now. That's why I do, if you guys are going to buy anything, I do recommend, but it's not a recommendation, to buy calls that are further out, that have a lot of time on them. Like the 2023s have aged very, very well, and I'm pretty near break even. I'm only down $200 rather than 600 and something on the September 17th $70 call. So I do suggest you guys get more time on your options if you're gonna play this. I do think a strangle here, buying calls and puts, is not a bad choice as well. Now, I do want to take a look at this article, and it does have a very strange title. It says, NIO, why Deutsche Bank is lowering its price target ahead of earnings. And I am not going to read this whole thing. It's basically saying, often dubbed the Tesla of China, will try to match its rivals' achievements when it announces quarterly financials. Talking about Tesla's rough road. It said in Q1, NIO made 20,060 deliveries, a new record, up from Q4's 17,353 deliveries, and amounting to a 423% year-over-year uptick. And now, what this is important here, and I do want to point out, investors are going to want to see over this amount in the first quarter. Now they have guided down to about 19,500 vehicles, so that will be interesting. If we can even match this 20,060 vehicles delivered, then NIO stock could go for a bit of a rally. Now, Deutsche Bank's Edison U expects sales of 7.44 billion RMB and gross margin of 15.5%. That, if I do believe, is the Chinese currency. So not actually $7.4 billion. They just hit last quarter 1 billion in revenue, so that has to be the Chinese currency. And it says this will result in EPS of 0.68 RMB, while the street has 0.72 RMB. But the fact that they guided down when they were shut down for about 5 days, that does give you a little bit of wiggle room. As long as they don't fail to hit their guidance that they have set forward as this far, then we should be fine on NIO stock, and I don't expect a big drop off of that. But if we come in at like 16, 17, 18,000, then we could definitely see a major fall in NIO stock price. Now, this is where it starts to get really, really interesting, guys. It says, looking ahead, the analyst thinks NIO will guide for delivery of roughly 22,000 deliveries in Q2. For the full year, U anticipates 95,000 vehicle deliveries, revenue of 35.5 RMB, gross margin of approximately 18%, and EPS of $2.40. Apart from advancing its recently announced new industrial campus, U does not anticipate much action in 2021, citing product cadence and semiconductor shortage as the reasons why there aren't any major catalysts on the horizon. It's further down the line in 2022 when things are bound to pick back up. And if you're a long-term investor, this is music to your ears as far as analysts speaking this way about NIO, because I don't care what NIO does up until 2025. I hope that in the next 5 years, NIO stock is a lot higher than it is now. But me personally, I am not trading this or anything. This is a long-term investment for me. So he says next year, one which will see the first year of profitability for the flagship ET7 sedan. U expects the vehicle to sell out, in quotes, every single month in conjunction with the ET7 in 2022. NIO will also launch its autonomous driving subscription service. U notes that even the founder / CEO of rival Li Auto was, in quotes, impressed by the vehicle, and last week said the ET7 was, in quotes, one of the best EVs at the Shanghai Auto Show. That said, talking off the competition, the Chinese EV market is getting oversaturated, and now one where the number of well-funded players seems to increase every week. U expects the competition to only intensify in what is already the world's most competitive EV market. The competition worries the broader re-rating among EV stocks this year are why the analyst reduces the price target from $70 to $60. Nonetheless, there's still upside of 43% from current levels. U's rating remains a buy. Now, I don't think this analyst is giving NIO enough credit as far as his price predictions for NIO. I mean, if you value NIO at the same ratio as Tesla, they are grossly undervalued, and I do think NIO is even better. One, because they are in the Chinese EV market, and the fact that they are so much further advanced than other EV companies, this should not be a too big of concern for anybody. It's not really a concern at all for me. Production for car and especially electric vehicles are not easy. It's capital intensive, and NIO has plenty of capital and obviously a high share price, so they could raise capital if they had to. I don't think they will anytime soon, but they also have battery as a service, which is one of the main reasons I chose to invest most of my portfolio in NIO, and that is because other EV companies, even if they do have competition, NIO will always be able to subsidize their stations out, so other consumers at other companies, like if you had a BYD electric vehicle or you had a Xpeng electric vehicle, you could go to NIO's battery swapping stations and sign up for their service and do the same thing NIO customers can do, and they have already signed a contract with Ford for the Mustang that will be in China to actually be able to use the battery as a service. So that is a great alternative revenue stream. And the biggest reason I don't agree with this analyst's $60 price target for NIO, besides we all know know NIO is a much bigger company than that in the long term is exactly that. These analysts, they think in 3 to 6 month terms instead of 3 to 6 year terms. And that is what you should be thinking in, is the 3 to 6 year terms, or even 10 to 15 year terms if you are a long-term investor like I am. So it's really disheartening when all these analysts are giving price targets based on 3 to 6 months out, like I said, instead of 3 to 6 years out. So I think he is just flat out wrong here. I think at least we could even go to $50 if we have good earnings, like I've already said. So this $60 price target is really just BS if you ask me, and I wouldn't pay any mind to it. If they have good earnings, he'll raise it to $70 or $80 again. Like, it's so ridiculous how these analysts give price targets. It shouldn't even be a thing. Now we're going to take a look at the technical analysis, because this does look very, very bullish as well. And if you guys are subscribed to this channel and follow these videos, you know that I don't touch any of these lines or charting or any of this every single time I start a video. I start it fresh from the last one. So if we take a look, my support level, my lower end support level was around $39.50, and my upper consolidation level, this is the consolidation period that I seen since we hit the bottom and bounced off of it at $41, is sitting at about $41, and we have stayed above this level. I did set a trajectory going as high as about $45 a share, $45.50 I actually said in the last video. So that is where I do expect to go relatively shortly. And if we do see, like I said from the last video, ever since April 15th, we have stopped our bearish trend and started a very bullish trend. So I do see a breakout coming in the near future. This is possibly tomorrow, like I said, with earnings. I do think we could go all the way up to $50 a share, but I do see the $45 a share as a bit of a resistance, well, $45.50 as a bit of a resistance level, but I don't think it will be too major. I do think at about the $50 a share level, that is where we really started to sell off last time. That will be a bigger actual resistance level and a bigger psychological resistance level. So like I said, I do see a breakout. I do think if earnings are bad, then we will go to around the $41 to even $39.50 range. I don't see a major drop coming unless they do guide much lower, and that is the biggest thing to know about earnings right now. Are even if these companies be on a revenue and an earnings basis, the only thing investors care about right now is guidance going into the future. So how strong does the business look next quarter? That is what I'm going to be watching for and looking out for on the earnings report, and especially the earnings call where they answer a lot of key questions that don't get answered during the earnings report and the financial statement that is put out. So that is basically what I'm looking for, a breakout to the $45.50 level. If earnings are really good though, I could see us going to about $50 a share, and that is where we will see major resistance, like I have already said. So that is all I have for this video. Like I said, I do expect a good earnings to go up to about the $45.50 mark. If they're really good, we could go as high as $50 per share. And I do want to live stream the earnings when the financials come out and the earnings call after hours tomorrow. So if you guys would like me to do that, make sure to comment down below, and if enough of you guys do want me to do that, that is something that I will do. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up. I will see you guys later. Peace out.